welcome everyone, and today we're going to be talking about the fundamental analysis of Alice. Alice has been on my watch for a while now, since I think it has a huge potential than the usual, and I think it'll be pretty broken when it is launched if it's not gonna be like Cyberpunk or any other games that get wrecked. So I'm gonna be making a fundamental analysis of this token, and we'll see if it's good or not. So based on the Google Trends itself, Alice has a decent following. I think that's a good sign that there's a lot of people who are anticipating this game, and I think it has a huge potential when it launches, but it will be soon. It's not yet gonna be launched, but I think they really need some marketing tools like dev blogs or something that will hype up the investors and the players. So from the Google Trends again, I think it has a decent following, so I'll give it a 5 out of 10 out of that. And for the crypto's popularity, I think it's very average at the moment. There's not a lot of people who are wishlisting it, and I think that simply because it's not popular yet, it's not being talked about, there's not a lot of reviews. I noticed that most of the people who are making videos are just for the price movement and not a lot more of the fundamental ones. So for the utilities and novelty, I think it is at least a 7 out of 10 for me. CHR and Alice tokens are very easy to utilize as they use NFTs, and it has that novelty as well, because you can keep the NFTs, and who knows, if it becomes a very popular game, then the demand for those NFTs and for the token will be obviously better. Next one is the crypto's white paper. From the looks of it, the roadmap is very solid. Again, I think that the developers should be publishing more devlogs of the game, not just nitpicks. At least people will not overhype the game, and then of course we don't want to happen is just like No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk, where when the game is launched is tremendously terrible. So in the crypto's technical analysis health, it is pretty good, just to be 10, which is very good, as you can see that the health of the token is very nice. Usually the technical analysis of it is that it's not too dump, and I think the users and the developers will never dump it until the publishment, and of course when the full scale of the game will be shown. So for the market capitalization, I think undervalued a little bit. Again, it's too early for the market value to be very high, but for something that doesn't have any games yet, it's a little bit high on that end. It could be higher when the publishing and the game is good, and it could skyrocket the market cap, but at the moment I think it's a little bit overvalued at the present value, as there is no games yet. And it's already this high, but that's good as well, because it motivates the developers and the investors as well to keep the token and not just pump and dump it. I think in the end it will be a little bit better eventually. I have high hopes on it. I don't have any Alice tokens, but I would definitely want some in the future, especially when the game is published. Again, I'm still not sure if it's gonna be good. I wish developers will be vlogging it for probably at least once a week. Devlogs will be very beneficial for the game. So for the founders and technical people, again, due to the recent Cyberpunk fiasco, I'm not really gonna be looking forward it, because you can have the best developers, you can have the best technicals and game makers, but again, it depends on how you pull it, because as you can see, the Cyberpunk and Fallout have very good developers, but due to their terrible management, so that's why I don't usually check on the technical people unless they deliver. That's basically what we want, is for them to deliver. Hopefully they don't rush it out and just publish it and then rug pull it or something, but hopefully they are gonna be looking at it for the long term, and I'm hoping for the best for the game. So currently, supply is very good. Most of the tokens are from developers and the investors, at least. There's not a lot of whales. If you're not gonna consider developers as whales, then I guess it's not too whaley, so there's not gonna be huge dumps along the way. Finally is the competitive advantage. I really think the advantages of Alice to other games is that it's very female friendly. There's a lot of games that is very manly, there's a lot of bloodshed, and basically it doesn't appeal to the female crowd, which kind of sucks. But this one, Alice, is very female friendly, which is very good, as it's almost like a duplicate of Animal Crossing, and Animal Crossing has been one of the biggest and the most successful games, so I'm hoping that Alice will have the same success. So disadvantages, I'm not sure if due to its very duplicate game, I'm not sure if Animal Crossing will sue them, but I'm hoping that it won't. Again, there's a lot of comparisons that they have the same aspects to it. Hopefully it's not gonna be a big deal for the other game developer to sue them, obviously, as it's not gonna be good for the entire project. All of a sudden Animal Crossing is gonna be suing them. So overall, on everything, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I'm really hoping that they will be publishing more dev vlogs, as it shows us the core, and at least we know that they're not just gonna be just like Cyberpunk, where they're gonna be overhyping it and then there won't be anything added. I'm very confident, as they're at least posting sometimes. I'm hoping for the best for this token and the project and the game itself. Again, it's too early at the moment to speculate, but I think that if everything works out, if they don't rush it, they don't do the mistakes that has been very famous at the moment, as there's a lot of issues with a lot of game developers, then I think it's gonna be very successful. If I can predict in the launch, it might reach at least $20-30 per token. It could be even higher, as if it's really good, and it really depends on their profits as well. In the long term, I think they need to back it up with more updates. Frequent updates and expansions should be very well liked. Hopefully it's gonna be a long-term game and not just a rug pull where everything will be very hyped, and then when the game launches, developers will dump tokens and then a lot of people will be burned. And hopefully it's not gonna be like that. And yeah, I think that's gonna be my review for Alice for fundamental analysis, and goodbye.